The following are a series of progressive activities used to teach lateral movement to Stage 1 beginners, covering the ready position, basic split step, pivot, rhythm step, and weight transfer recovery movement skills, as well as the step-down contact move. For this exercise, the player begins near the center mark around 2 feet behind the baseline. The player performs several ready steps, then a split step. Parents or coaches can cue the player to split step verbally or visually by swinging the racket forward. The player should begin their split step as their partner begins the forward swing, reaching the top of the hop when the racket will be contacting the ball. The player then places one poly spot beneath their non-dominant side foot. This is the base dot. If players do not have access to poly spots, use any type of cone or marker several feet in front of where the player's foot would land. After the split step, the player pivots to face the right side fence, then steps out and across with their left leg, making sure to land heel to toe. They take another step to land on their right leg in a loaded position. The player then places a poly spot underneath their right foot. On the pivot, be sure that the player is lifting their heels to pivot on the balls of their feet. Holding a sports or medicine ball, the player repeats the above steps. As the player steps into their right foot, they rotate their upper body away from the court to a chin-on-shoulder position. Upon landing on their right foot, the player steps into the court with their left foot. The player's left foot should point at a 45-degree angle and not cross over the line of their right foot. As the player steps, they rotate their upper body into the court to throw the ball to their partner. The player should finish with their back foot on point, their front knee bent, their torso relatively straight, and their arms outstretched towards the target. After holding this position to check for balance, the player brings their back foot around to a position opposite of the base dot. This position should be similar to the ready position, with the knees bent and the center of gravity low. The player then shuffles back to their base dot. In the ready position, the racket is held with the forehand grip on the bottom hand and with the left hand on the throat of the racket. The elbows are up and away from the body to reduce excess arm movement and promote a load position where the elbow is away from the body. As the player lands on the target dot, their hands begin to separate as the upper body turns away from the court and the racket moves into the load position. In this position, the right elbow should be relatively in line with the shoulders. The left arm should remain extended across the body. The position of the racket may vary with regards to the player's experience. For example, beginner players would start from the pull position, where the butt cap of the racket points towards the ball. The player then performs a shadow swing consistent with their stage's technical criteria. After pausing for a moment to check their balance, the player allows the right leg to come around and pushes off to shuffle back towards the base dot. The player performs a similar motion to the one in the shadow swing section. However, this time they drop and hit a ball to a target on the other side of the net. Generally, for beginner players, this target is deep and to the middle of the court. The partner stands near the target dot. The player moves to the target dot, after which the partner drop feeds a ball for the player to hit. To progress this activity, the partner can stationary toss feed the ball as the player split steps, requiring more timing in the movement and swing. For this exercise, the target dot is removed. The partner stands near the service line and rolls the ball towards the baseline. As they do so, the player must move to stop the ball with their back foot, landing in the load position. The player times their split step with the forward swing of the roll, beginning the hop as their partner's arm moves forward. The partner begins holding a medicine or sports ball. They toss to the hitting side of the player, who moves to catch, making sure to land loaded on their back foot. The player then steps in and throws the ball back to their partner, recovering to the base dot. Similar to the drop feed. However, in this exercise, the partner varies the distance they drop from the hitting partner. In this exercise, the partner toss feeds the ball to the hitter, who moves as described previously, hitting to the target zone. Once the player has demonstrated competence in the previous activities, they are now fed by Racket from across the net. The feeder begins close to the net and moves back once the player has demonstrated that they can maintain technical correctness